In this universe,
In this galaxy. In this world. Beneath the influencer clouds.
over the viral video fields,
Off the information superhighway.
there are voices in the digital wilderness, whispering.
More opinions.
If you listen,
You will hear.
Well, I think it's time for us all to get revved up like a bunch of douches. Yeah.
were you going to play it right away?
I was. Shit.
Have you seen my wiener?
And you want to know what? I know he's here, but we're doing it anyway.
First of all, fuck you!
That is right. Don't adjust your screens. Tex is here.
Yeah.
And of course,
Wait a minute.
It's Halloween season. And of course, we brought Tex back.
Y'all aren't Frank and Jeremy. I think I'm in the wrong place. What day is it? Where am
What do
I?
you mean it's
What-
Monday?
What the hell even is this? What's going on? Well, no, what's up, everybody? I promise you I know where I'm at.
Actually,
Happy Halloween. It's,
Well-
Nick said. What's up?
well, this is the Halloween show, Casey, and we should actually maybe do something. I got an idea. We'll talk about it after. I got an idea for Casey, so we'll talk about it after. I got an idea. So, yeah, we figured that we bring. We'll try to keep this an annual thing when Halloween time comes,
Hell yeah.
and we'll bring Frank and discuss anything horror, scary, blood,
Yeah.
tits. You know.
You had me at blood and tits, Nick. That's all you needed to say. That's all it takes.
I figured I would. Oh,
Uh,
One moment, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will play that. And welcome, Bolo and Alma.
so we want.
every time
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I see you spin that tortilla on that deal, I just want to go eat Mexican food. I hope you know that, by the way. That makes me hungry every time, so just know that ahead of time. So, yeah, it's all good.
And I want to have that real Mexican food, not our shit Taco Bell. My wife makes good Mexican.
Oh, yeah.
I do like it, but I want to have like
Yeah, no,
stuff Alma.
come down here and get
and
y'all.
like fucking.
Come down here and get y'all some of the good stuff made by the people that just swam across to learn how to feed us white people. So it's all good. So it's delicious. So
Oh, yeah, we're on the big TV right now. Kat just sent me, or Alma just sent me a picture. We are on the huge screen. So,
hey, somebody
uh,
send me a screenshot so I can tell my mom I'm famous. I made it to the big time.
We are on.
I'm on TV now.
So we won't get into it right away. But Tex, the Halloween gods must have been listening because as we talked
Yes, sir.
about like those slides that I like, one popped up.
Uh,
Classic horror movies based on true stories.
Hey, there you go. It's a Halloween miracle, Charlie Brown. But just we're quoting a different movie. But
Mackenzie has
all
authentic
good.
Mexican ran by an Oriental fellow, I bet, right?
hey, I can take you to a few of those where it's a different persuasion that works in the back, if you know what I'm saying. But it's all good. So,
Yeah.
as long as it feeds you.
So there was no real. We talked about a couple little things we want to discuss, and well, I think first and foremost, and I don't know if we asked this last year, and if we did ask this last year. We're gonna just keep asking it. So, like, Tex, what is your draw to Halloween? Like, what when you think about Halloween? Like, what is it like? Yeah, this is why I love it.
Oh my god. How do I answer that question in under 2 hours? I will give my best option here. To me, childhood is like, or to me, Halloween is like the one thing from childhood that I held on to bring me joy. You know, as we age, you know, you got to get a job and pay taxes, and you know, children come and all of these things. Halloween to me is let's get dressed up like our favorite whatever and go have some fun. Let's go, you know, go to a haunted house. Who doesn't like to be scared? For somebody like myself, I grew up on horror films and the spookier side of life. So this is my Christmas. This is my everything. You know, from going into summer to fall, you know, I get football back and I get Halloween back. So for me, this time of year and this season as a whole is just so much fun. And you know, it's I love all the Halloween decorations that, you know, now I will say Halloween in Texas, it's still like 90, I think it was like 92 degrees today. So there's no fall breeze in the air or anything.
No.
But, you know, you can feel the changing of the season when Samhain is upon you. You know? Well, Casey, you're the one talking about me. So who's worse here? Just say that's all good. But, you know.
And the thing is, Tex, and I think that they now, especially now, because the whole mood around Halloween really has changed. It's almost become as big as Christmas, really. Because when we grew up, you know, you see the odd thing in school, but what's happened now with the inflatables and all the decorating people do, it is turned into a second Christmas, if you will, for decorating. I'm saying.
Well, it's not like there's a store called Spirit Halloween that makes over $1 billion just in like the 2 months that they're out. You know, at least here in America. I don't know about what y'all have in Canada or whatever. But, you know, Spirit Halloween, there's a reason why those things pop up in all your empty TJ Maxx's and Kmart's. And they make a ton of money and then they get out. So they do well. So.
We have ours is actually in our huge Agriplex right now. And it opened at the end of August. I am jealous because I saw a video. Now, I'm not sure if it was the gentleman that plays Art the Clown, but he was someone dressed like Art. I'm thinking it was him, was in Spirit. It was in New York. And I got to get to a bigger center. Was that the actual guy who's Art?
I think it was. Well, that was well, the footage that I saw was at the same time as Terrifier 3 coming out. So I think that was David Howard Thornton going to I think it was the New York City. I don't know if Spirit has one in Times Square or not, but it was that was for movie promotion. Oh, it was amazing.
And to see all the stuff, like, I'll be full honest. We got a couple like lanterns in our front yard, but there are a lot of little bastards that live around here that are like cutting people's inflatables. No, cutting their inflatables.
Really?
And you see how much those things cost. It's like I'm not even rolling the dice. I like to go maybe buy like cups and lanyards and all that kind of collectible stuff, right? Like that's where I got my junior blanket from. And so
I've got
as much as I would
Terrifier blanket there and a shuffle of shit of money I've spent over there, so I feel your pain, sir.
So I would love to decorate the house more, but I just don't want to take the chance of people destroying my shit.
Oh, it's like. Oh, no, I was just quickly going to say, like, both Party City and Spirit Halloween have 6.5 foot tall animatronic Art the Clowns. And if I had $350 right now, guess what's going to be standing over here? It's going to be the 6 foot Art the Clown, but my family would hate me, so I didn't buy it. And I'm poor, so, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, it's all good.
So, Alex, I got a question, not to say where Tex lives, but he says he likes to decorate. I told you my situation. Being in the city, do you see a lot of people decorating, like their porches and decks and stuff like that? Like, how is it in the city?
I see some, but it's definitely not on the level of this is a Halloween-oriented place. There are outliers, yeah.
I will try to take a picture of the house on my route on Wednesday. Brody's not listening, but this guy's whole house is done up. He's got like a Freddy in his yard and everything. I will try to remember to take a picture,
cool.
and I'll send it to you guys. It is awesome. Really awesome.
Now, do people decorate their cars up there where y'all live? Because people go. I saw a dude the other day. He has a Jeep Wrangler with the rag top that goes over the back of the roll cage. He put a skeleton arm hanging out of the grill of the front with like fake blood, like dried blood on it.
Awesome.
He put he had skeletons in the back. He had all this Halloween garb all over it. It was so cool. I've seen a lot of cars decorated for Halloween, so maybe it's just down here. I don't know what it is, but people go all out. I mean, it's so cool to see for someone like myself who loves Halloween as much as I do, to see the money be spent so I know it's going to continue, because that's how things work these days. So it's all good.
I've seen a lot of zombie hands, like you can get them at the dollar stores and stuff, like the bloody handprints and stuff. And one guy was driving around with some witch feet hanging on the back of his trunk, stuff like that. I've seen a few of these people do like the antennas on like a Dodge Journey, and they stick those plastic skeletons on them. So when they're driving, they're like, ah! And their mouth is open, and the legs and feet are behind them dangling. So, but yeah, a few vehicles, not a ton though. Bolo, I think everybody here is doing awesome, my good man. Thank you. I hope everything is going good where you guys are.
Bueno, ¿cómo está?
Cipretuente. I don't know what that means, but
what?
I don't know. So while Tex is fixing his shit because he's probably yelling at the dog again. No,
I was hollering at kids this time. Sorry, I'm always yelling at somebody around this house. So
we're gonna get this out of the way. I'm interested in this, so I'm always interested in these. So this one is classic horror movies are based on true stories. I believe right off the top, most of us know that Hannibal Lecter is based off A.A.T.G.M.
Yeah, with about 5 other franchises.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm sure they'll be named in here, but of course, A.A.T.G.M is the serial killer that was also based after Leatherface. I'm curious what I'm strong on my sexuality. That the handsome dude from Sons of Anarchy, like the handsome dude from Sons of Anarchy, how he's gonna pull off A.A.T.G.M. Because if you see the pictures of A.A.T.G.M, he was a very homely guy.
Charlie Hunnam, is that his name?
Yeah. He's a handsome dude, and like, how is he? Like A.A.T.G.M, you look at those pictures, he looks like a monster.
Yeah. Well, Hollywood has a long tradition of casting pretty people to play ugly people. I mean, didn't they get Charlize Theron to play what was that female serial killer? Started with an M. Eileen Wuornos. Yeah. Oh, the movie was Monster. Yeah, she played Eileen Wuornos.
Great movie.
Oh yeah, great movie. But you take like one of the most beautiful women in the world to ugly her up and fatten her up.
Right.
Like maybe give one of the less attractive, actresses a chance. But
true story. Yeah. I know. I agree with you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what they got for us. Amityville Horror. We all kind of know that. Anyone that's listening to this knows that backstory.
Listen, look.
It seems like it's a bunch of bullshit.
Well, I firmly believe in the supernatural and have seen things, but I know a con job when I smell it. And considering the lawyer that helped cook up the story of the Amityville basically came out and said, look, I'm not going to say this is fake, but then you kind of know. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Haunting in Connecticut. This is the paint-by-numbers thriller to follow a fictional family who moves into a former funeral home and suffers a manner of spooky shenanigans as a result. Have you guys seen this? Again, this is going to be more your guys' wheelhouse, so... Alex?
I think I did.
Did you
it's
see it,
been a
Alex?
while.
Oh, okay.
I did, and I think at the time I thought it was decent.
Okay.
That was like in like the mid-2000s, right?
2009, it said. This was an awesome movie. I like this movie.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
But apparently, I wish people kind of get into what the story was, because it's just like invaders break into the house wearing masks. All right, well, like, how about give us a little more,
Even if a film is 1% based on something, you can say based on a true story and still be accurate. they're just not going to expand on how much accuracy is there.
I guess, right?
Howdy, Chad. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well.
Mothman prophecies. Yeah, we've all heard that story as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gets into the crypto zoology stuff.
Yeah.
That's some interesting stuff. I like that.
That is actually. Unsolved Mysteries had a show about it just recently on the new set of Unsolved Mysteries. It was pretty interesting.
Is that the Netflix Unsolved Mysteries?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't watched it.
It's not the same without Robert Stack, but they are interesting stories nonetheless.
Right.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not reading the bottom. My bad, homies. I just realized that. So in the 1980s, the Reed family moved into their new home only to be haunted by spirits who would slap, grope, and otherwise spook them. My bad, guys. So the truth is, so Brian Bertino based the movie on the experience during a childhood when mass strangers would knock on doors and identify buildings to burgle. Okay. Hills Have Eyes. It draws inspiration from the grisly. Oh yes, the legend of Scotsman Sawney Bean.
Yeah.
Who ambushed, killed, and in the 15th century. Look that story up, folks. You want to read a fucked up story?
Oh God, yeah.
That is.
And it's not just like a couple. It's like multiple generations of a family that were living in caves and stuff.
Yeah, you guys.
Like, it is gnarly.
It is quite a story. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
It's nuts, man.
The movie is based on accounts from 1966 where several people in the small town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, reported being terrorized by a creature dubbed the Mothman. And it's all over, like around Chicago and stuff. They said they've seen Mothman. So like it's it's expanding. Yep. Now this is the one. So Charles Play drew an inspiration from the terrifying true life tale of American author Robert Eugene Otto, who allegedly received a cursed cuddle toy as a gift from a former servant who'd been abused by his family. That's a little bit of a reach to bring up Chucky, but okay. Sounds of course. The film's villain, Buffalo Bill, is in fact an amalgamation of a trio of infamous serial killers, including Ed Gein, Ted Bundy, and Gary Hednick. Hednick? I don't know Gary Hednick.
I might start a bit of conversation with this one, but I don't personally consider Silence of the Lambs a horror film. I consider it more of a psychological thriller with horror aspects.
Yep.
Would y'all agree or disagree with me?
I agree.
Agree.
Okay.
I feel Seven falls into that too, like a Seven.
Yes.
Stir of Echoes. Well, no, Stir of Echoes is a little more creepy. Like Kiss the Girls and stuff are thrillers with a little bit of horror stuff mixed into it. So,
right. Yeah.
No, I agree with you on that one, Tex. So does Alex. All right. Norman Bates is actually based on the real life exploits of serial killer Ed Gein, whose story captured public imagination in the 1950s, partly thanks to sensational media reports, which revealed the killer kept grotesque trophies made from dismembered body parts. I gotta say, Jamie Lee's mom was pretty roll tide there.
Oh yeah.
Hey, and that being said, does Ed Gein deserve a star on the Walk of Fame for all that he's contributed to Hollywood at this point? Jesus Christ! I mean, from Psycho to Chainsaw to the whole Hannibal stuff. Yeah. I mean, how many millions has he generated from his story being based off of that? Now, I know you can't profit from a crime, but maybe an honorable mention is something. I mean, hell, if Harvey Weinstein gets praised at the Oscars, shouldn't Ed Gein get something? By God, Jesus Christ! I mean, who did the worst stuff? That's all I'm saying. So, come on now.
Well, I'd like to say you're wrong, but Okay, so Poltergeist. I love me some Poltergeist. It's based on the story of Herman family who experienced all manners of paranormal hijinks after moving into a new house in the 1950s. But I like the way that Scary Movie used the clown better, though. Uncle Ray Ray's got a game too. Hey, get the figure out. From Hell. Now, I don't know how you guys are, like with podcasts or shows. I am a sucker for anything Jack the Ripper. It's kind of like Loch Ness Monster, Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I'm fully invested.
Yeah.
There's
one of my favorite podcasts, the last podcast on the left. they did a 5-part Jack the Ripper special like years ago, and it's what, and like each podcast is like almost 2 hours or maybe a little more than 2 hours. I've listened to that entire series 3 or 4 times. Like it is like each time I listen to it, I think I'm going to solve the crime, and I end up getting nowhere, just like everybody else. So still fun though.
Yeah. Alex, like, did you enjoy this movie? I remember seeing the movie. It was kind of it wasn't bad, but I enjoyed it for what it was.
I haven't seen it in over 20 years, so my memory of it is very vague. But when it comes to anything Jack the Ripper, yes, I'm enthralled.
Yeah, and it's kind of like you said, Tex. You listen to it's like when you watch, like I said, you watch that Loch Ness monster, and like, oh, maybe they're gonna find him this time, and they never fucking find anything, right?
It's been like 100 years. We're not catching the guy. Let it go.
Oh, what a scene! What a scene!
Oh,
I would have this as a poster on my wall.
Cousins.
Yeah.
There's my like my third cousins twice removed kind of thing. People, I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Got so many. So I can't wait till we re-review it over on Frank's channel. We're going to do that pretty soon. That's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to that.
Yeah, it's awesome. So though the story itself is entirely fictional, I felt like I got my inner Frank out there when I said it that way. Wes Craven drew his inspiration from a real-life condition that was dubbed Asian death syndrome after a series of victims inexplicably died in their sleep in L.A. in 1970. I did not know that. That is interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Wes Craven took it's been a while since I've seen the documentary, but I believe he said that he took he saw the deaths in the newspaper. He took the name Fred Krueger from like his bully or somebody who he didn't like or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
For the appearance, like at some point.
We lost a text.
Sorry about that. I got a phone call. No, and for the appearance, he got some creepy guy smiled at him weird once, and that's how he got the design for Freddy. And then the red and green color scheme. Red and green are the two colors that clash the most when you look at them together. That's why the sweater is that color. It's hardest on your to accept. I'll be right back. 1 minute.
Okay.
The Rite. The film is based on the life of Father Gray Thomas, a bona fide exorcist who career-inspired Matt Bigelow's book, The Rise, The Making of the Modern Exorcist. I have not seen The Rite.
I have not seen it either.
All right. And Tex is not here. The Conjuring. Yes, I've heard about this. Based on real-life investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, who claim to have handled more than 10,000 paranormal events. The Conjuring is inspired by one of the duel's most infamous cases that involved the spirit witch who was murdered in the 19th century. If you haven't already, go do some digging up on Ed and Lorraine Warren and make your own decisions about them. You know, they're so we'll leave that up for your guys' pleasure, if you will. Jaws. I knew this already, is based on a bunch of attacks that took place in Jersey over a 12-day period in the summer of 1916. A total of 5 people were attacked, 4 of whom died. The authorities could catch and kill the 7-foot great white shark that was responsible. Only a 7-footer did that. And then you see more videos come out recently of these monsters that are in like Australia. Yeah. Like monsters. The Exorcist, of course, is taken from the inspiration from the last known Catholic sanctioned exorcism, which took place in the United States in 1949. Excellent movie, still holds up.
Yep.
I hate to do this, but I have an emergency I have to go deal with, so maybe we can postpone the second half of this, or I'll come on to something later. But thank you for the invite, and I will see y'all sooner than later. So
no worries, man. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, Tex.
Happy Halloween, man. See ya. Yep.
All right. Happy Halloween.
All right.
Things happen.
Yeah. The Girl Next Door.
Ooh.
I've not seen this. So as shocking as it may be, the film is actually based on true life events of one of the most gruesome cases of cruelty ever tried in Indiana. The real life victim, Sylvia Likens, was tortured and murdered by a gang of adults and teenagers when she was just 16. Have you seen this movie? I have not seen this movie.
I have, and it's very difficult to get through. It's a good movie. There was another movie released the same year. I think it's called An American Crime. It's based on the same story. It's a very tame version in comparison with this one. This one, ooh, if you can get through it, good for you.
Oh, okay. Wolf Creek.
Yeah.
The film draws its inspiration from a number of infamous Aussie murder cases, including Ivan Malti, who in the 1990s was convicted of kidnapping and torturing hitchhikers. Okay, I've heard of Wolf Creek.
It's a really good movie.
Annabella, of course, is Ed and Lorraine again Warren, who claimed to have discovered a porcelain doll that was possessed by a demonic spirit in the 70s. So, last one, Silent Hill. Amazing as it sounds, the movie is based on a real-life unexplained murder that took place in Uruguay in the 1940s.
Silent House.
House, my bad. I said hill. I was just, yeah, so.
This
there we
one
go.
I have not seen.
No, so, yeah. So we will continue on with our Halloween spectacular. I guess I'm even wearing my Jason shirt. Horror story or it's ghost stories. Everyone likes a good ghost story. So
Yes.
I have talked long enough. Alex, please talk for a little while.
Before we get to the ghost stuff, I'm going to share what's going on Casey's channel right now. He did do a short recently. I think it was the beginning of October or end of September, saying that he would try and do one horror game every day this month. And this is what he has so far. Yeah, he's done quite a bit. Friday the 13th, of course. I'm pretty sure I played that one way back in the day, and I couldn't get past, I don't know, the first level, let's call it, but decent game.
The Friday the 13th game was awful.
Now I don't feel bad.
You know, it was awful.
This is what's happening on Casey's channel right now. And I wanted to share a movie that I saw that is also based very loosely on the life and times of Ed Gein. This is from 1974, the same year as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This one is called Deranged. A deranged rural farmer becomes a grave robber and murderer after the death of his possessive mother, whose corpse he keeps, among others, as his companion in a decaying farmhouse. And if you recognize that face, that is the actor who played the old guy with the shovel in Home Alone.
Oh.
You can watch this for free right now on Tubi. This is a decent movie. And if we scroll down to the trivia section, based on the true story of Ed Gein. So there you have that.
Interesting. That's pretty cool.
Old Man Marley.
Old Man Marley.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what some actors have done over the years. So, ghost stories. We'll start with a familiar place that we all know of. Well, most people who are watching this right now who know us know of a little town called Mackenzie. And for those who don't know where Mackenzie is, here's Google Maps. So we have the United States and we have Canada. So over on the west coast is British Columbia. Currently, I'm in the lower portion, which is Vancouver. However, if we go to about the middle of the province and we zoom in, Prince George is right here. That's probably the biggest city in central British Columbia. So if you drive north on the 97, a good hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on how slow or fast you drive, you'll come to a junction and a place at which you can turn off Highway 97 onto Highway 39. And that stretch of road is about half hour's drive, again, depending on how fast you go. And at the end of that road, you reach Mackenzie. Now, the reason I bring up Mackenzie, you can see that Morphy Lake is
such a big lake,
directly adjacent. Yeah, it's pretty much the length of the town itself. Now, when you zoom in and you see off Highway 39, there's this long stretch of road known as Centennial. And off of Centennial, right about here, is Morphy Lake Road. And that is, it's been a while since I've been down there, but this drive is what, 30 seconds?
Yeah,
or
if that. Yeah.
so? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we go to this place. This is xnews.net, Ghost Stories and Hauntings in British Columbia from October 13th, 2022. You scroll down a little bit. Just outside Mackenzie, British Columbia. What do you mean just outside? Ganahaz is just outside. The Junction is just outside. McLeod Lake is just outside. Morphy Lake is not just outside Mackenzie. Some say, oh God, here we go. Some people are saying, what is this, Fox News? Some say the screams of a young girl who drowned in nearby Morphy Lake can still be heard. I'm still waiting to this day for actual audio and video evidence of this. There are also stories of an eerie white apparition that haunts the area. Again, evidence needed. And I'm not talking about doctored video. I'm talking about the actual thing. You've heard this story, I assume.
I have. And I have a problem with the story is because we spent a lot of time down at Morphy Lake and sometimes at night. You know, we party down there, just go down there and I've never seen any, yeah, and I know the 2 deaths from the 70s. I told Alex about that. And yeah, so I'm going to call bullshit myself. I'm not saying it's not true, but again, like in the 24 years I lived there before I moved, heard a lot of, or was down there a lot and never saw anything out of the ordinary, to be honest. So
exactly. And I can't wait for this part of our show to be clipped and played on some Mackenzie Facebook page, and then a bunch of commenters will chime in with saying, well, I was there one night and I heard it, but I don't have any evidence, even though I have the technology to prove any which way. So it's just a story that people like to believe is true for whatever reason. I don't know why in this day and age, Drink, that we can't just say, okay, this is a fable. This is not true. There's no evidence of this. If there is, please provide me with evidence. Now, it's possible that a person could get in a dinghy or little boat at First Beach and go out into the middle of the lake at night and stop and listen. That does not mean that no one else knows that you're there. It could be that maybe at Second Beach, there'll be a couple of people who just yell out onto the water, and then the person who's on the water looking for the evidence, oh, I hear something, that must mean it's true. Or they take a video, and then later on, they edit the video and they add a scream. So how are we going to know for sure?
You're correct there, Lemon Juice Music. I did say that. I myself is calling bullshit, but maybe somebody has heard something. So on my end, I'm calling bullshit, but until we're proved wrong, I guess technically I can't say it's not fully true, if that makes sense. So
I would say, based on my experience and having been there, I can say that it's not true. But I have friends who say that it is true, and they have heard it. So how do I disprove what they say?
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
Didn't hear nothing. Oh, didn't hear nothing. Double negative. So that means you did hear something. Oh.
That's like one of those, I could care less. That means you do kind of care. Right?
On some teen ghost bullshit. Yeah, of course. the people who want it to be true, their grammar and their spelling is absolutely atrocious. They defeat their own presentation.
Yeah.
So we open with that. And Ryan, someone's going to latch onto that and say, well, what if one of those deaths was the murdered woman and that's whose voice you're hearing?
I will not say names, but I'm almost certain that it was two young boys.
And not to disrespect the families of those boys or anyone else who died there in any way, shape, or form. We're talking about the story. We're not talking about the actual people.
Exactly.
Yeah, the fable.
Exactly. So, so I have two ghost stories. One actually takes place in the hotel that my wife used to manage, and it's the Heritage Inn here in Tabor. And they have a ghost named George. Now, the story of George is this is the whole thing. Oh, it was a boy and a girl. Okay. We're talking about the same person then, Ryan. Didn't realize it was a boy and a girl. Yeah. Sorry, my wife sent me just a little thing about it here. So
she's like, don't dead job me, bro.
Yeah. So the Heritage Inn is a ghost called Charlie who plays tricks on the living. Some storytellers claim Charlie was a guest who died in a fire in 1979. There was a fire in 1979. I guess it could have done homework to see if anybody had died. Others say it's a man who had a heart attack in room 125 in the late 1980s. His body was discovered in a tub and was rumored to be shortly after that the guests were making a guest was awakened by splashing in a bathtub, and each time they checked, nobody was there. The tub was dry. Some reports have explained weird activity in 209. My wife will confirm that 209 has had some weird stuff happen in it. And for the reason unknown. He's been known to make footsteps, make noises, and play harmless tricks to make sure people are aware of his existence. So my wife has said there's been some weird stuff that's happened in the hotel. Lights gone off. They've heard footsteps when nobody's there. So they have heard weird things. Now, the other thing that I saw, so there's a hotel in my little town here called the Palace. Now, the Palace used to be the RCMP station back in the day. And if you go down into the basement, I've seen the videos of the basement. There's bars. You can see where the bars have been cut off and they're flush with the concrete now, right? And my friend Richard told me there was lots of weird stuff there because his mom manages the hotel end of it. And they've caught video of weird orbs flying around down there, weird flashes of light when it's dark with night vision on, so they could make sure if anyone goes in there. But I don't know if it's just dust that's going by or what it is, but I've seen the video. He showed me the video. I've seen it myself. So that could be explained off, but it was one time in police jail holding cells in the basement that apparently there were some weird things. So, and then just a weird, couple weird ones to add with the Tabor area. 2 summers ago, there was some workers cleaning out around the cemetery. There's like the bushes around the cemetery, and they found 3 graves. They had no idea that they were there. So, of course, everyone speculates that they were robbers and they didn't want to be buried with people. But yeah, 3 weird graves that nobody knew about. Nobody in the current administration knew that those 3 graves were there. So I thought that was kind of creepy. So I have one more, but I've now babbled more. So do you have anything else?
Yes, here in Vancouver, those who live here and those who have been here for a while know about the ghosts in the old spaghetti factory. And this is a restaurant in downtown Vancouver in the Gastown area. So if we scroll down, there are, I think, 4 apparent sightings. Some say, who are they? Come on.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, exactly. Many say, oh, now first it's some, then it becomes many, say that the old spaghetti factory staffers have spotted the ghost, the train conductor, inside the tram after the restaurant empties out in the evening. If I remember correctly, it's been many years since I've been to the old spaghetti factory. The tram is in the middle of the restaurant, I think. The second ghost is a little red man with flaming auburn hair and a penchant for mischief.
Freaking gingers.
Yeah. Rumor has it, well, that's where I stop believing anything. When you use the word rumor, and you're talking to me, a guy from a small town who had to deal with rumors for the 20 years that he lived there, that he roams around the kitchen whispering to staffers and calling them out by name. I am hoping he's washing his hands when he's in the kitchen. Third ghost spotted by a waitress who saw a young boy running around the restaurant during her closing shift. She was so scared by the incident that she resigned on the spot. Who and when? The same spirit has also been seen, not also been seen, bending cutlery. Is this from The Matrix? But when staff members brought it to the attention of the manager, the previously bent cutlery had mysteriously returned to normal. What was the manager going to do? The fourth ghost sighting was of a young girl sitting at the table near the front of the restaurant and holding a balloon. A friend of the general manager claimed to have engaged in a long conversation with the ghost, but when someone else approached the table, she disappeared. No photo evidence, no video, bunch of trash.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, here we go. I see weird flashes of lights and orbs and floaters all the time in my old eyes. Yeah, but when it's on video, you know it's true. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Ooh, ooh. Oh my God. I love you. Yes, you know it's true. Okay. A lot of them are left standing. I've actually made the comment to my son, like, I'd just love to know the backstory of these places that they just leave the barns up. They don't really, a lot of them don't get torn down. Some do, but there are a number of them still standing. But I would recommend do not enter farmers' land without permission. You might get shot.
Thanks,
Okay.
Seth.
Thanks, Bruce.
Take care.
So I do have a weird story, and really, what's the name of Fort George Park now?
It's called Scary Park now.
Scary Park after dark, Scary Park. So this isn't scary. This is creepy. And I'm sure if you are a fan of Canadian True Crime Podcast, you've heard of this story. The abduction and the murder of Kelly Jane Evelyn Cook. So this has a little bit of Tabor tie. It's actually crazy so this young girl was abducted from Standard, Alberta. Standard is where we always go for our family reunions. That's where my cousin Drew and Natalie, Lucas, Brady, Belle, Lane all live. Like, that's where the farm is. We always go for reunions. She got a phone call from someone looking for a babysitter. She took the job. Of course, it was the 70s, and they ended up finding her in Chin River Lake, which is about let's see, does it say here how far we are away from here? It's not far from here, but nobody ever found her or found the killer. Abducted, and they found her I'd say about 15-20 minutes south of Tabor in the Chin Lake.
What year was this?
This was 1981. Yeah, so she was discovered in Chin Lake Reservoir east of Lethbridge, Alberta, just south of us in 1981. You weren't even born yet, and I wasn't even a year old yet. But yeah, it was bound by ropes, anchors, and 2 concrete blocks. They never found who killed her. So
I like Alma's comment where she says, haunted.
See, but Alma wins because they live close to BSK, the house. So, like, she wins.
Okay.
Does that translate to Fort George Park?
No.
Okay, well, I had to try. So, all right.
Near where Dad lives, there is a ranch that is a tourist destination. It's called O'Keefe Ranch, and apparently, some people say that in one of the old farmhouse windows, I think it's an upper part of the building, you can see a woman standing there. But if you approach, she disappears.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, maybe because she doesn't want to talk to anyone because people are annoying. I would disappear too if I could. Cited the original. Yeah, okay. Yeah, makes
Fair
sense.
enough.
Right
Yeah,
on.
fair enough.
5 minutes from the O'Keefe Ranch. And then they disappear.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love you. Now it's in my head now.
Have you ever heard of the St. Louis light?
No.
Okay, and back to Google Maps once it comes up. Come on, it's here somewhere. Okay, actually, we'll go to YouTube because I looked for the St. Louis light, and this is the first video I watched on the St. Louis light. This is from Brightside. They are apparently a gigantic YouTube channel. But when you first start watching this, when it brings up what should be St. Louis, it brings up St. Louis, which is in Missouri. Come on, guys, you can do better than that. St. Louis light is in Saskatchewan. So if we go to, come on, move faster. If we go back to Google Maps, and about the center of the country is where Saskatchewan is. And if we go to about the middle of the province, or thereabouts. Come on. Okay, so Prince Albert is our starting point, and I think if my Auntie Kathy or if Jolene are around, they can chime in on this. I think St. Louis is there. For some reason, I was thinking St. Louis was east of Prince Albert, but travel south on the number 2, there's St. Louis, and the St. Louis light is a light that apparently, and you have to go off the highway to find this, and you can only see it in the dark. You have to get out of your vehicle. You got to walk a good, I don't know, 5 or something minutes, and you're in this particular place. You're looking off into the distance into a pile of trees, and from there you see a light, and the light you can't approach it because if you do, it either gets further away or it disappears. And return of Tex. Hey.
There's 2 things I hate in life. I hate being interrupted and repeat myself. Somehow both have happened today. So anyways, please continue.
Hi, Van. Holy. Been a minute.
Wow. Yeah.
Man.
Hope you're doing well. All right. So you're out in the wilderness of Saskatchewan and you're in the dark and you see a light off in the distance and you can't approach it or else it will either get further away or it will disappear. That is apparently the St. Louis train light because there was a train on a train track that is no longer being used, and apparently it's a ghost train. So if anyone tries to approach, the light disappears. Now, the reason I have this YouTube page up is because 2 students have finally solved the mystery, but all they did was propose a theory that the reason for the light is that there are a few roads near where the old tracks were, and so the light is apparently car headlights, and it's a diffraction of light through trees. And I've been there to the St. Louis light. I've seen it twice. And when I first saw it, I thought, yeah, those are car lights. But no, it's actually a ghost train. No. So they proposed a theory. They didn't actually solve the mystery. So there's that. Yeah.
Mazel tov. All right, Tex. It's your show now. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
You're back.
Now, Alex, you've probably seen this film, but the Texas Killing Fields had Jeffrey Dean Morgan and the guy from the Avatar movies. Have you seen that film from about 10 years ago or so?
I have not.
Well, there's about a 25, 26 acre stretch of land south of Houston on off of I-45 called the Texas Killing Fields. And basically what this is, it's an isolated stretch of highway, or at the time was isolated. And like from the 70s to I want to say like the 80s or so, they found 30 plus people killed and bound on the, that is why it's called the Texas Killing Fields. And what makes it so eerie is many of these victims, most of them were bound in very similar structures, how they were tied, positions. The victims were very similar. So the motive of, maybe this is a group, one person. Now, I forget the person's name. One guy did step up and claim responsibility, but it's pretty widely known that he just wanted the credit for something he didn't do. He was already in jail for something else. But if y'all haven't looked into the Texas Killing Fields, they've made multiple documentaries. Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting story. Now, the movie that was based upon it, which is a good film, they kind of, go back to that based on, if it's 1% based on, you can call it that, whatever. Good film. It's not necessarily accurate to what the real story is. I would say watch the documentaries before I did the film. But yeah, if y'all haven't looked into the Texas Killing Fields, I would highly recommend you do, because it's a very interesting fight.
So I would also recommend. I was just gonna say to you,
I've heard of that.
So you should look that up, Tex. You want to? It's pretty screwed up.
Oh yeah, I will. Yeah.
Talk about it here, but I brought up the Texas Field. So yeah, it's roughly denoted for an area surrounding Interstate 45 corridor southwest of Houston. Where since the early 70s, more than 30 bodies have been found, specifically in a 25-acre patch of land in the League City, Texas.
Lake City, Texas, yeah.
Where 4 women have been found between 83 and 91. Yeah, they're mainly young girls. Wow. Yeah,
they're mainly young girls. A lot of them had similar haircuts, especially the ones back in the 70s. Well, that part of Texas, that's getting into the coastal part, because like once you hit I-45 south out of Houston, you're heading to the Corpus, Galveston area down on the Texas coast.
So it does.
And it's it's very interesting.
So it does say location is League City, Galveston County, Texas.
Yeah, which is that part of Texas is, you're not far from the border. That's actually not far from where Elon Musk put his new setup whenever he moved to Texas down here. There was a lot of land open. A lot of that land floods really bad. Anytime you hear hurricanes hitting Texas, that area 9 times out of 10 is hit. And I find it very odd, very eerie. I don't know where I stand on the whole Texas Killing Field thing. Is it a cult? Was it one person killed somebody 10 years ago and it inspired somebody else, a copycat killer or whatever? I don't know. I could make a case either way. But I do find it very interesting that, this has permeated pop culture to the point where they're making Hollywood films about it. So that tells you something about it having residency. You know what I mean?
Okay, so this is the Highway of Tears. So this corridor is 719 kilometers, 447 miles, where young women have been going missing since the 70s. It's between Prince George, British Columbia, Prince Rupert, British Columbia. So Prince George is where Alec or where the Reverend lives, and that's where we used to party all the time. And when you get out into that highway, I trucked out there. There's nothing. There's no lights. It's now dark.
How far north into Canada is this? Because I know like the further south in Canada you go, it's higher populated, and the further north, it's more isolated. Am I right on that or not?
Yep. Yeah, like where Alex lives in a major metropolitan area. Ryan lives in a city, but it is, I mean, I don't even know how many 100,000 people and 150,000. So a small city. But when you get north of that, is it only 90? Man, they didn't even reach 100, eh? 90,000 people.
90,000 people.
Yeah. So
Wow,
once you get north of that, I mean, when you say rural, Tex, I mean, it's rural. There's nothing.
Now, could you live on the land if you wanted to, or is it just
without a doubt.
worth building a life?
Oh no, you could. If you were that much of a woodsman, you could definitely. Well,
okay.
I say that, but I gotta phrase this properly. You could do it with a little bit of farmland yourself. It'd be easier as an indigenous person because you could hunt year round, right? And like because when you get into the woods here, Tex, like there's nothing, and I mean, it is literally like Friday the 13th, like Camp Crystal Lake. Like there's nothing.
Hell yeah!
Like, when he's
I'm going on vacation.
When he's running through the trees killing people, that's what it's like back home. There's just trees. There's nothing.
Oh, sweet.
What I'd like to do, Nick, if I remove your screen, I'll bring up Google Maps.
Yeah. And
we're gonna take Tex on a little tour.
Do I need to get my passport? So Trudeau don't arrest me.
No, you're good. You're with us. You'll be good. No, you'll be good. You're with us.
We'll sponsor you, but yes, you need ID.
Do I need a green? I'm more than willing to get a green card. I don't want to be an illegal immigrant in y'all's fine nation, so I'll do it the legal way. So,
yeah, you got to do some community service up here.
How many sorries do I need before I'm Canadian? Like, how many do I need to say? Isn't that how it works or something? So,
we live here and we're still saying sorry every day. All right.
Oh, goodness.
So, here is North America. And if we go north, this is Canada. And if I zoom in a little bit, Saskatchewan is where the St. Louis Light is. West of that is the province of Alberta, which is where Nick currently is. He is in a little community south of the city of Calgary. And if we go west further to the coast, British Columbia, this province where Nick is from and where I currently am, this is slightly bigger square footage wise than Texas, if I remember correctly. And I can't remember the exact square footage, but it's just a little bit bigger. Now, if we start here on the southwest coast, I am in Vancouver. And then if you go north, if I keep going north, so Prince George is where the redneck is. That's where the 90,000 people are. North of Prince George, about an hour and a half drive, is the small town of Mackenzie, which Nick and I and Ryan are from. So Highway of Tears is between Prince George and Prince Rupert. So again, Prince George is here. And if you go west all the way to the coast, that's the Highway of Tears.
Okay, that makes sense. Have you seen it came out earlier this year, The Strangers Chapter 1. It was a remake of the original Strangers movie.
I haven't seen it yet.
They used that part of Canada both to film and as inspiration for that movie of location. And like there's like one tiny little village where there's like one car garage where you get your gas. There's a general store and a diner and nothing else. Like it's that remote part of the world. That's pretty interesting that they use that area for that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And just to finish off, I can't remember what show it was, but it was a few shows back that I brought up ghost towns in British Columbia. And there are quite a few here on the West Coast, the Queen Charlotte Islands near Haida Gwaii, and then further down toward Vancouver Island, some abandoned towns and some towns that have very few people as opposed to what they started with. A lot of little, really interesting places if you can get to them to visit. And this is a gigantic province. It's beautiful. And if you have the time and the money, I suggest you check it out, as Brody liked to say.
That's seriously, that's something I've always. If I ever get rich, I want to like go find the forgotten parts of the world.
Mhm.
You know, like
Yep.
don't. I mean, everybody wants to do the touristy stuff. Go to France. Go to wherever. I want to go to the crap where people used to live.
Yep.
Like you talk about desolated. Have y'all ever heard of Terralingua, Texas?
Yep.
It's an abandoned mining town. That's another one that I forget. What were they mining? Silver ore, or some kind of mineral. I forget what it was, but it basically dried up in like the 1940s, and they just had to abandon the town. Like it's another spot. I've actually been to Terralingua. It's it looks like something out of an old Clint Eastwood or a John Wayne movie. Like the way the ghost town looks, it's pretty cool. But yeah, anytime I see the abandoned or the left behind towns, I always wonder what horrors are there that we don't know about. Like what is going on there that I would find interesting.
So just for perspective, Tex, just so you can see how big BC is, British Columbia is. So Texas is 268,820 square miles.
Right.
British Columbia is 364,800. That's how big British Columbia is.
So
And
you could just get lost up there and never be heard from again. But like Bigfoot could just take you and run, and they'd never find a clue where you at.
Yep, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
That's crazy.
And that's that being said about the creepy town. So I was doing oil field work when I first moved to Alberta. And we were in Saskatchewan, and I mean like southern Saskatchewan. And southern Saskatchewan is, well, it's just like Alberta. It's all this bald ass prairie, and there's nothing around. And I remember we were in the middle of nowhere doing some well work, and then we started driving. And all of a sudden, there's this little town. And I'm like, are there people that live here? And they had vehicles with plates on. I'm like, people fucking live here. Like, this is where Texas Chainsaw Massacre happens.
Right.
Like, these people are so isolated. Like, the nearest little town was an hour and a half away. And I'm not talking like a Mackenzie that had like 4,000 people. I'm talking this place had maybe like 6 outbuildings. So maybe if there were even that many people there,
Yeah, we got a lot of places like that where, let's see, it was 2 years ago where we were on vacation. No, 3 years ago, because it was like in the middle of lockdown stuff, and we just wanted to get away. And we were just driving down the highway, and I turned the GPS off. I said, we're just going to find something. I don't know where we're headed, but I'll know when we get there. And I took an exit I've never been down before. Kids are looking at me like a cow looking at a new gate going, what's going on here, Dad? They thought I was nuts. And you find these tiny towns that you've never heard of that have 300 people that live there or less, and it's just like, this is like an 08, like, it's like one of those places you don't want to tell anybody about and ruin the charm of, because it's like, this is Andy Griffith, this is Mayberry right here. This is like tucked away out of the way. It's a place out of time. I like those little places like that. Now, how are y'all into the Texas has a lot of haunted hotels. Is there many of those in the Great White North up there? Because we have quite a bit down here. I don't know. Obviously, y'all know in San Antonio, the Alamo, the battle that took place and all of the dead and everything else. Well, there are two. There's the Menger Hotel and the Baker Hotel, both in proximity of the Alamo. Both of these hotels, I've stayed at the Menger. I've never stayed at the Baker. I want to say, I know somebody who stayed at the Baker once. This place, there were thousands dead that died on this site. Now, I don't know what y'all's belief on the afterlife or hauntings are or whatever. That's your own perspective. But both of these places are notoriously known for sightings, odd sounds, noises that would just yells and screams that just come out of nowhere. Even I believe it's the Baker Hotel that it's the 7th floor of the hotel, I want to say it is. it's unoccupied. There's nobody there. In the elevator just randomly stops there. Like it's just like nobody pushed a button. Just like holy crap, why are we here? And it's I know everywhere has these kind of stories, and it doesn't sound very scary just me talking about it. But I'm so fascinated with this stuff. If I ever get rich, I would love to be a paranormal investigator. I love the spiritual world, both the light side and the dark side. I like to explore it. I want to understand it. I don't just want to read the Bible. I want to read the dark side as well. See how it compares, how it contrasts. To me, that's very fascinating. To me, that's completion. To me, that's it's like a couple weeks ago, Alex. You had said something about you've never met somebody who likes the blood and guts and the horror, but also knows about Jesus as well. I'm a little bit on both sides. I'm an odd duck, I guess, is a short way to phrase, to make it understandable. But for me, I find it very fascinating because there is so much. There's a lot of death around here where I live. There's been a lot of wars. There's been a lot of fighting, and it creates like a residual haunting kind of thing when these things happen. From have y'all ever? Oh, what's the name of it? I can't remember. It was not the Emily Morgan. That's in San Antonio. Not the bake. If you can Google haunted hotel in Mineral Wells, Texas, this one's worth looking into if you want to look it up. Back in the day, the reason why Mineral Wells is called Mineral Wells because the water there had a lot of minerals, and you had a lot of people who were sick, and the minerals. They were drinking this water and it was making them feel better because they were getting their nutrients into their bodies. So basically, this was a little nothing area outside of Fort Worth, Texas. It's about an hour outside of Fort Worth, and they created this hotel. It became a destination. People were coming from all over the place. Well, sick people are coming to a hotel. What do you think happened? You start getting death in this hotel, and after the years, finally it got condemned and shut down. And to this day, I believe the hotel is still shut down. I was there many years ago on a tour, but Mineral Wells has another haunted hotel around here that has a very eerie vibe. The time that I was there, I heard piano music playing. I never saw a speaker. I didn't even see a piano. I don't know where this came from. I asked people, did you hear this? And they heard it as well. I was completely sober. I had no earbuds in. There was no reason why I would hear piano music. And for me to have heard this, even I got creeped out. I'm like, okay. I started thinking this is some Hell House kind of stuff, Alex. You know what I'm talking about, where they start hearing the piano music. I kind of start feeling. I'm like, okay. If I see a dude in a clown mask, I'm finding the nearest window and I'm smashing it out. I don't care what anybody says. So yeah. But if you're ever in Mineral Wells, look up the haunted hotel there.
The Baker Hotel.
The Baker Hotel, yeah. I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that one. It's there's a lot of stuff around here. There's even I believe the USS Lexington that's in Corpus. The battleship is allegedly haunted as well, but I've never experienced anything there. I've been there many times, but it's so touristy at this point that there's not really anything worth, spooky, kind of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of sites that, just because if you start in the Southeast where all of the Civil War battle sites were and work your way down over here, you'll get your fill with all kinds of haunted stuff, especially head over to New Orleans, like all that voodoo stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, it's cool. And what's so cool is the east part of Texas that connects to that whole Texas killing field thing is kind of adjacent to that voodoo kind of stuff in Louisiana over there. It kind of has that Gulf Coast vibe to it. So it's pretty cool to see.
So our famous one that we have in Alberta is the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel. And that one's been in a bunch of stories.
I think I've heard that name.
Yeah, well, it's been on a ton of podcasts, and one of the girl I listened to Haunted History. She talks that she went there and she didn't see anything creepy, but it's definitely the vibe of it. Right. And all the stories are I've heard of the bride. So apparently this woman was about to get married. She's coming down the stairs, and she slipped and fell and caught her heel in the hem of her dress, brushed up against the candle, lit her on fire. She died. Apparently, they still see her like on the stairs and stuff all the time.
Oh
wow. The other one was Sam, the bellman. He was a Scottish gentleman that worked there for years and years and years. And when he just passed away. And I guess there's been issues where people couldn't get into their room, and they called the bellhop to come help them. This is after Sam has died, and the bellhop comes to the room and they can't find him, and he knocks on the door and they open it up and they're like, oh yeah, the little guy helped us. It was Sam.
Bro.
Then that's happened numerous times. Yeah, and I guess his old office is
I
now
wonder
a hotel room, and he goes into there they see him go through the wall apparently all the time.
A little guy named Sam. I wonder if that was any kind of inspiration for the Sam character in Trick or Treat. The little guy that wears orange with the nap cloth.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But here's an interesting one. I'm going to bring this up. I think we've talked about this on the show before, but this is a big haunted area just west of me called Frank Slide. So this area was a massive rock slide that buried the town of Frank in the district of Alberta. It's just east of me or west of me. So at 4:10 in the morning on April 29th, 1903, around 44 million cubic tons, 1.1 million tons, 1.20 short tons of limestone rock slid down Turtle Mountain. Witnesses reported that within 100 seconds, the rock reached up the other side, which obliterated the east edge of Frank and the Pacific Railway line. It was one of the largest landslides ever. Between 70 to 90 people died. To this day, like they say, they can still see like shadows of people. It is creepy because like you're literally driving over the edge of Frank when you go on the highway. It stayed open until 1917. You can actually be charged if you're caught taking rocks from there because it is a national heritage site. Yeah, it's a national heritage site now. So you will be charged.
Now, are there like park rangers patrolling to watch and make sure that doesn't happen or something?
And I'm sure people do it without a doubt, right? But this is the picture. This is what was left from the slide. There was a town there, and that all is gone. But yeah, people report that they see shadows all the time and everything.
Do y'all believe in this stuff, though? Do you believe in like a residual type haunting where, let's say somebody died on a site? Do you believe that there's a true spirit world haunting? Or do you think people put the evil on that? Like, where do y'all stand on that?
Go ahead, Alex. I've talked a lot.
It's hard to say because once you tell someone that something happened in a place and that place is haunted, you've already put in that person's mind the possibility that they're going to hear strange sounds or see strange things when it just might be their senses heightened because they're scared. Now, if you don't tell them these things and they experience this stuff, then there might be a case for it. I have to experience it for myself to believe it.
I got you.
Agreed. I agreed. You can't tell people because, of course, then they play it up, right? I think anyway. So.
Yeah, I also think the movies and television have kind of spice things up within our own minds a little bit. Because if I say, hey, Alex, Nick, I've got a barn out back that's haunted. It's got shovels fly off of the wall, and it looks like it's in a Conjuring movie. Well, just like Alex just said, I put in your mind that, a Conjuring film is happening over here. Whereas it may still be haunted. I've set expectations to another level. As for me, I'm skeptical, but like I said, I play on the spiritual side. I've studied this stuff. I've seen exorcism. My grandmother, I've seen my great grandmother would cast demons out of people, and I would 100% believe This of course predicates on a belief of good and evil, God, devil, whatever. But I firmly believe there is more to this world than just what our flesh and blood experiences. There's something else that we don't know about out there. Is it supernatural? Is it spiritual? I don't know. But to me, it's fascinating. And I 1000% believe in the demons and the possession and spirits haunting a place. The term residual haunting is what that basically means is when a tragic event happens in a certain spot, like a house or a hotel or a location, that it creates such negative juju that it creates that haunting, that troubling feeling, that cold sense when you go to a location. And that's kind of what I'm talking about with this kind of stuff. But, do I believe it's everywhere? No. I mean, how many ghost hunter shows are just a bunch of dudes dressed in all black going around screaming at ghosts and, oh my God, did you see that? No, there was nothing over there. What are you talking about?
Yes. I can't stand that.
Unfortunately, those people ruin what the real thing I believe out there is. But much like whether it's like, I've never seen a UFO. I've never seen an alien. But I have seen supernatural. So that's why I do believe in that. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, you see weird stuff, you hear weird things. Sometimes, it's
Right.
your mind playing tricks on you. You don't know.
Yeah.
I'd love, but I think that's also what keeps horror alive. We'll come full circle before we start our videos. That's the element of loving horror movies, because you always have the bit of you're never sure. And could this happen?
Right.
And I'm not talking like the Terrifiers. I'm talking about like the stranger stuff. The stuff that when you sit there and you go,
something more realistic.
This could totally happen. This, and I think as long as we don't know the full answers to it, that's the better way to keep Halloween and scary stuff alive.
Well, I mean, Samhain, or Sam Hain for the ones that don't know how to produce a word properly. It wasn't created by us. It's been around a lot longer since we've been here, from the Celts and everything else way a long time ago.
Yeah, most definitely.
And, there is, whether you believe in it or not, you can't deny, to kind of touch on what Nick was saying, you can't deny that it's real to a lot of people. And it kind of, do y'all know what a tulpa is? I don't know if y'all have ever heard that term or not. A good example of a tulpa is think Freddy Krueger, something who's not physically real, but our belief in it brings it to life, makes it real. And if you believe in something hard enough, if enough people, it's kind of like you're manifesting to a point. If belief in something is real enough that there's a boogeyman or a spiritual world or a demon or whatever it is real enough, you're basically creating the monster, whether it's within your own head or manifesting it in real life. Once again, I'm getting into some real deep physiological, psychological stuff going here. But this is why I find this stuff so fascinating. And that's basically what a tulpa is you manifesting the thing that's not real, but you make it real. And like I said, I love this stuff. I think there's a lot of fake crap out there, and there's a lot of people who profit off of that. But they wouldn't be able to profit if there wasn't a basis of reality, even if it's 1% of reality to make something off of it. So make of it what you will.
And that's the Reverend Tex. All right, well, let's get into some videos and wrap this up because I'm hungry.
He's hungry.
I'm always hungry.
And thanks to Nick's mom for liking us on Facebook.
Nick's mom. Thank you, Nick's mom. Not trying to be off topic here, but it looks like NDP officially. I don't know what NDP is.
Ugh.
That means things really aren't going to change all that much because I think they've been around for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Government shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, we're not talking politics.
No, we're not talking about politics. So, yeah. We're talking stuff that we love.
We can save the screaming at each other for next week here.
Yeah.
So. Oh yeah, I got to bring up my video. But you go ahead. You lead the way there, sir.
Well, I was going to save videos of all our usual ilk for next week and keep this horror themed. However, I will recommend something that I found recently.
Okay.
I was looking for, as alluding to Tex was talking about earlier, those fake scary horror shows that you can find on the internet. So I was looking for cringy fake
Ghost hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found this guy, Why Ghosts Don't Haunt Asians by Stephen He. And he puts on quite the stereotypical Asian accent, but he's hilarious. So if you want a good laugh, just relax and watch this. He's also done a part 2 to it. He's a very talented and funny guy. So go find Stephen He and watch his videos. He's very good.
I'll have to do that.
Okay. Ow. Do you want to start this party or do you want me to start the party?
Go ahead.
Okay, I will start the party. But of course, before we start the party, we need to see Colin shoot your stepmom. Look at them titties. Wouldn't it be great if one day all of a sudden we get an email from this lady like, you want to not use me? No, so
I find her. There's nothing worse to me than a screaming, nagging woman, and she just makes my skin crawl every time I see her. Oh, it's just like, oh my God, I want to go hide. I don't like you. You know, you just ugh. I hate that.
All right. So I don't know what this guy was trying to do, but maybe the class can dissect this together. Let me mute this. All right. So here we go. In somewhere warm. But look at this. He's coming here and he decides, hey, sup, homie? Like,
oh, dude.
So now. Oh, wait, I want to mute it. I don't think, but I don't understand. Like, what? Like, was he trying to bump and like do a lawsuit? Because he like, you know, enter your.
Do we know his inebriation status? Like,
no,
alcohol, drugs.
No, but like, was he aiming for up around the Cabell area, but caught the Tankle area instead? And then ended up.
Maybe he just watched Fast and Furious and he was trying to commandeer a truck. He was like, he was screaming like Vin Diesel as he did it and failed miserably.
He's like, I live my life a quarter mile at a time. And
either that or he's looking for a good lawsuit and a payday from a trucking company.
That's maybe what I thought. That's kind of what I was thinking. Maybe that's what he was looking for. But anyways,
wow.
There's your fuck around to find out for the day, folks. You know what's great?
Could that also count as a stupid people video too, though?
That technically could, but what's great about that, Tex, is you've made it very, very clear that you love gore porn. But yet,
yes.
But a liberal screaming is what makes you go, bleh.
Well, okay. No, there's a difference. No, let me clarify here. Because, see, in a gore porn film, that woman would have Arthur Clown with a chainsaw being shoved through her, and then she wouldn't be screaming anymore, and then I would be vindicated. And I have the perfect reference here. If you saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2022, the Netflix one, I hate that film. But the only thing that makes that film redeemable is the ending. Whenever that curly-headed, yuppie, hippie girl gets drug out of a little electronic car, put on her knees by Leatherface, as that electric car slowly creeps away on its 9-volt battery, and Leatherface just takes her head clean off. It is cinema at its finest. It is so. It's just so tremendous. But yes, no. The thing about gore porn is it's just fun, and I like to watch hippies get killed. Sue me. What do you got to do? So
yeah. No, I'm fine with that. All right. The floor is yours now, Alex.
You're about to get canceled, bro.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Cancel me from what? I do not fear your power. So. Oh, good.
Because Terrifier 3 is still in the theaters, my girlfriend wants to see it,
Oh, yeah.
and because she had not, pardon me, past tense, seen the second one, I showed her that on Saturday. Oh,
And
I'm surprised she got through it, especially because this is my second time having seen it. The death of Sienna's friend in her bedroom was unnecessarily over the top brutal, but it was interesting to see the practical effects and how because the actress clearly has two arms, how one arm was either CGI'd out or something. It was quite the scene to see.
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she was like kind of turned sideways, so like the shoulder was behind or something. I don't know how they did it, but that one. Now, has she seen Terrifier 1 with the upside down girl naked getting sawed in half?
I showed her that one, yeah.
What were her thoughts on that one, though?
As with many gory deaths, especially Smile 2 being a recent example, she will look away. She can't deal with it.
Really? Okay. Well, I mean, Smile 2 was more CGI gore than practical. I mean, you can clearly tell the difference. It like as good as Smile 2 was, I had to knock points away from it just because it was CGI and not practical, but whatever. But I don't know. I'm curious to see what your old lady thinks about the Terrifier 3 when she sees that, especially with how children are handled. Like, that's going to be an interesting the first 10 minutes of that film will determine about how you feel about the rest of it. I'll leave it at that, but it's one of those things.
Okay. Well, we're going to see it on Thursday.
Oh, I can't wait. I will be. I can't wait for next Monday for the review of Alex's better half. If she leaves him for taking her to Terrifier 3 or not, that'll be fun to find out. So that'll be good. Yeah.
Oh, I've shown her a few movies that made her wince and look away, and she's still here. So I guess she's got nowhere better to
Now,
be.
what's the worst movie you showed her? Have you like gone Serbian film, Human Centipede levels, like how the Belko experiment? Like, what have you showed her?
Belko Experiment is great. I'd love to show her that because that's a fun one. A Serbian film.
It is a good one.
I will not show her that. She hasn't even seen the first original 74 Texas Chainsaw, and I do plan on showing her that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't know those people existed that have never seen Texas Chainsaw 74. Oh, everybody's seen that damn movie. That's great.
Yeah. I can't think offhand what was the goriest thing I've ever shown her. I've shown her bits and pieces of all three Human Centipede movies, especially the third one, because that's just an underrated comedy, in my opinion.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Well, hell, even Human Centipede 2 being, he was a fan of the first. Oh, it's so good. It's not good. Human Centipede 2 is not good, but it's one of those movies you like. If you have any ambitions of making movies yourself, you go watch Human Centipede 2 and you go, okay, I can make movies too, because if this got made, surely my idea can get the film. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
There were a few movies from our first outing with Tex, which was 50 episodes ago, episode 131, and this is 181, that I wanted to share with the class. Yep.
Yeah.
Last year. So this one is from 2016. It's a Canadian production called The Void, starring Aaron Poole, who's done a few good movies in his day. I've said before that I am a sucker for slow zoom ins, and this film has a really good few slow zoom ins. So I do recommend this one for the atmosphere and the creepiness factor.
So is it like a John Carpenter type of creepy atmosphere with like the blue lighting and that kind of the pullbacks and the focuses and stuff, or what?
The pullbacks and the focuses, yes. Not so much in terms of shading, no real blue lighting, at least that I can remember, but it's still really good. I love atmospheric horror, so this for me is a really good one.
Boy, I'm not sure if I've seen that one or not. I'll have to check that out. I don't recall it if I have seen it.
This is another good one. I think this is from across the pond. I'm not sure if it's England or Ireland. Again, it's been a while, but you could see this on Plex or Tubi. Again, atmospheric horror, and the lead male actor, he's really good. So I do recommend this one pretty highly.
Okay. Yeah, I love Tubi. Tubi's horror section is incredible. It costs you nothing. You know, the ads can get kind of obnoxious at times when you're watching Tubi. You know, I'm not going to, deny that. But for not costing you a dime, it's well worth it. So, hell yeah.
I agree. This one I saw very recently, hour 22, including credits. Low budget, independent, lots of creepy atmosphere, and I liked the ending. It was a bit of a twist. It was not a huge twist, but if you like slow burns and slow builds, this is one to check out. I really like this. IFC Midnight has a pretty good selection.
Yeah, the IFC Midnight Film Fest, it may have been 10 or so years ago, but there for a few years, like back to back. I guess I don't know if they produced or if they just bought these films, but they did like 4 or 5 movies a year, like the Midnight Film Festival that they put out on DVD, and they had some pretty good ones that came out. Hell, and IFC still making movies. They helped produce a couple movies this year, including Late Night with the Devil, which was one of my favorite films of this year. But I can't wait.
Yeah, I agree. Great movie. Here's another good one from 2019, The Cleansing Hour. I really enjoyed this movie. Possession movie. It takes the idea of people just doing things that they think are scary on the internet, like a show, and then making it real. This was great. Kyle Gallner's in it, who we all remember from Smile and the beginning of Smile 2. So I definitely recommend this one.
Kyle Gallner, he's in a lot of stuff. He was in another good film this year, Strange Darling. I don't know if you saw it or not. It was another kind of a low budget, twist filled. If I say too much about this movie, it's spoiled. So I'll just say this: Strange Darling is there's a serial killer on the loose, and you get to see the wild stuff happen. I won't tell you who the killer is. All I'll say is Kyle Gallner stars in the film. He plays a police officer, and it's a fun watch. So if you have a chance, I don't know where Strange Darling is streaming now, but I would say go find it. It's another good one.
I haven't seen Strange Darling yet. I'm going to watch that with my girlfriend pretty soon. I haven't seen Stream yet, but I'm going to watch that pretty soon as well. Stream
was fun. Stream had Tony Todd was in it. Tim Curry, he plays a small role in it. You had Jeffrey Combs from the Reanimator franchise as the main bad guy. You had David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown is in the film. Stream was, how I saw Stream, it was a 1 weekend showing. It was a limited release deal from the producers of Terrifier 2 and 3. And there was one showing on a Saturday night at like 9 o'clock that I got to go see it at. And that was a lot of fun. It was very, if you like Terrifier, you'll like Stream. They're they could be cousins. They're very close.
Nice. This one, Grave Encounters, this is found footage from 2011. A lot of this was filmed at the closed Riverview Mental Hospital in Coquitlam, which is a suburb of Vancouver. This one I really liked. This again, this is on Tubi as well. So if you've got an hour 32, including credits, then please watch this.
Grave Encounters 2 was also worth watching as well, especially back to back. I like both of them. There was, it's been years since I've seen either of the Grave Encounters. A couple Halloweens ago, I got really into the found footage kick, and for like 20 days, that's basically all I watched was found footage horror films. And, you know, some of them are good, some of them you want to forget ever existed. But yeah, Grave Encounters, I completely agree. It's definitely worth watching.
And the good people over at American Werewolf in New Jersey, who are linked in the description below, they did a review of Brandon Cronenberg's Possessor from 2020. This is a really good one with Andrea Riseborough. I highly recommend this one. This is strange and it's weird, but it's great. If you like horror movies and psychological horror especially, please watch this.
Yeah, Werewolf is a cool dude. He whenever we I don't know if y'all watched the review or not, but we did a breakdown of the DCEU, like a kind of a overview of all of it. And Werewolf is an American Werewolf in New Jersey is a very smart man because he, like myself, is a Snyder cultist as well. So he's a very good dude. So I like that guy. And this film, I've never seen it, but if he recommends it and so do you, I will very much so check it out. So, hell yeah.
Yep, please do. This one's a kind of horror comedy that I found very enjoyable. You Might Be the Killer from 2018. Allison Hannigan is in this one. This has got some entertainment factor to it. So if you get the time and you got nothing better to do, check this one out.
Never heard of that one. I don't do a lot of the horror comedies miss for me. Like I would say my favorite horror comedies would be like Dale and Tucker versus Evil or like Ash versus Evil Dead, that kind of level of horror comedy. But I've never heard of this one before. Allison Hannigan's a good actress though.
Yeah. This one, if this is the one I'm thinking, yes, this is I think it's French. It's from 2006, hour 17, including credits. This was a really good one. I think this was loosely based on something that actually happened. If you can find this, please watch it. I really enjoyed this one. This is kind of like The Strangers, the 2008 version, in that it's low budget. It's a lot of handheld. Not a lot of jump scares, but it's really, really good from what I remember of it.
Yeah, I like going to, and another shout out to Tubi is you get a lot of those movies that are like that were made for $15,000-$20,000 that you're gonna have to sort through a lot of crap, but every once in a while you're gonna find something really good that you've never heard of before, and it's just going to blow your socks off. I love doing that with movies.
Yep. And I'll throw one more in there, just because of the two lead actors. This is from 2004. Anyone who saw Run, Lola, Run knows who German actress Franka Potente is, and the co-lead is Sean Harris, incredible actor. 2004, pardon me, hour 25, including credits. There we go. It's on Tubi. This just proves Texas case even more. This is a great little movie, especially for Sean Harris's performance.
Tubi's going to owe y'all a royalty check for as much as we plugged their fucking shit tonight.
Yep.
So, holy shit. So, get the attorneys on that paycheck, boys. But yeah, no, I've never seen Creep. I don't think this is why our little YouTube, world of movie nerds, like we all have our little niche and we dig in different places and we all just kind of recommend different crap to one another. And it's just so much fun because so many of these films you'd never see if, your friends didn't tell you about it. And I mean, the best press overall is word of mouth. So you can't beat that.
Yep. Yeah, Franco was also in The Firstborn Identity and the sequel for a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen those since they came out. I think I saw them once and I was like, oh, okay, that was fun, and kind of moved on to the next action, kind of flick or whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, same here.
It's cool.
Nick's bipolar song list?
Sure.
All right.
Do it.
So, first one is from Marilyn Manson. It is a cover of This Is Halloween from A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy that. And I'm keeping it Halloween-y. And one of my favorite Weird Al songs ever from Weird Al in 3D, Nature Trail to Hell. What a great, it just encompasses all the 80s slashers. It really does. It does. So This Is Halloween and Nature Trail to Hell by Weird Al. Love it.
I think the last Weird Al song I heard was his take on the Beverly Hillbillies song. Like I randomly heard it. Like I don't even know. Like I want to say it was probably YouTube, but somehow I ended up listening to it. I'm like, you know what? I dig this shit. This is good stuff right here, pal. But it's all good.
I listen to Weird Al all the time, but the last song I just heard a couple weeks ago, it hasn't popped up now and I think about it on my phone a little bit, was Confessions 3. He basically knocks off the Usher Confessions and he does this ridiculous stuff. Remember when I told you that I knew Pauly Shore? I lied. I don't know why I told you that. And your goldfish died and I just replaced it with another one. It's just the stupidest shit in the world. So anyways, well, I don't need to go watch the baseball game. Fuck. All right.
Hey, my Rangers won the World Series last year. I'm still celebrating that. I don't give a shit. So
Fuck, live in the now. Okay, can we wrap this up?
No. As a Dallas Cowboy fan, I learned to celebrate the championships when they come because it might be another 30 years before you get another one. So I've got a death grip on that one.
Yeah, no
but
shit.
One recommendation I will make before we get out of here. You're going to have to go to Shudder to do this, but it's like $6 a month. It's, peanuts. And it's a great streaming service. The newest VHS movie is out, and the series that they always announce at Halloween every year. And this one it's a little more sci-fi horror based. And except for one story about human canine dogs, which that's all I'll tell you about because holy crap is it twisted. It's made by Justin Long, by the way, that little section. But go watch VHS Beyond. It's the newest VHS film. And I said, you can get a free 30-day trial of Shudder. Just Google it and figure it out. Go watch Joe Bob Briggs on there. Love that man. So
you'll figure it out.
Shout out Joe Bob in The Last Drive.
Yeah, I saw VHS Beyond, I think, last weekend, and I was entertained by it. So good choice.
It's fun. I like that opening story. They get bloody quick, dude. When he's going after them zombie alien thing, holy crap! It got it quickly turned into Evil Dead 2 in here. Oh my god, dude, that's nuts. That's funny.
Thank you to everyone who chimed in the chat, be it Nick's mom, Van, who we haven't seen in a while, Coos to Van, Dad, Lemon Juice Music Canada, Chad, Bolo, Alma, Ryan, Casey, and a gigantic thank you, a North American thank you to Tex for being here. It is always appreciated, whether you're in the chat or you're on the show once a year. It's great to have you here.
Yeah,
so
we
thank you.
appreciate it.
I appreciate the invite. I said sorry for my little emergency in the middle of the show, but I just scared everybody and popped back up. And as is said in the illustrious Halloween 78, everybody's entitled to one good scare. So I just had to pop up and give y'all the jump scare of the night. So it's
But
all good.
You know what's funny, Tex? I had to do the same thing on the show when we did the critters. Remember, I had to run out. Remember, like,
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, it's funny. Yeah.
funny.
Hey, it's just, that's life being all symmetrical and whatnot. You can't explain it. You just roll with it.
So take care of everybody. Thank you, Tex. Remember to love one another. Be patient with everybody. Enjoy Halloween, guys. This is the time when we, we say this around Christmas. I'm going to say it with Halloween. We all love Halloween for the most part. Let's have fun. Be safe. Answer the door. Give the kids something, all right? And have a great, great Halloween, guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Have a good Halloween. And watch this in the harsh truth tomorrow. We are reviewing Venom 3. Yep. So, we'll see what happens with that. Won't give away too much, but is that a review?
I think the second one was definitely. I'm waiting till that comes out on streaming to watch it. So I will watch it.
Yeah. Tune in tomorrow to see how it may or may not be.
Well, as always, think before you say something. Think before you do something. Have a happy and safe Halloween, especially people who we haven't seen in a while, including Overseer, Beverly, Shlomo, Really, Lady Cora, Junior, Freak Nasty Bumsex, Wild Bill, Gordon, Penny, Mara, Amanda, my friends Sarah and Teresa, our friends Matt, James, Sheena, and Dewey, both Trevors, both Cindy's, both Jolene, Nathan, my Auntie Kathy, and shout outs to Gareth, Susan, Ravi, and Ashley. The greatest monster movie battle yet. Audrey 2 from the Little Shop of Horrors versus Gloria Pooshfontay's quiche-smelling uterus.
That'll be a good one.
Move over Godzilla and King Kong. The newest battle is here. My goodness.
Everyone take care, and we shall be back next Monday, which is Monday, November 4th. The day before the end of the United States of America.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Okay, bye!
Happy Halloween!